non-farm payroll report last week was a blockbuster. How badly did it hurt rates? Pretty bad. We're going to talk about it on today's call. So let's dive right into the numbers, y'all. Mortgage News Daily has the rate today, national average of a 30-year fixed rate conforming loan at 6.97%. Y'all, after that non-farm payroll report came out on Monday, we hit 704. So we were back into the sevens from that one report. A week ago, we were at 6.63. So we're up almost a little over a third of a point in a week from where we were 1 week ago. 6.74 is where we were a month ago. So we're a quarter higher than where we were this same time last month. Here's what happened. Non-farm payroll came in at 353,000 new jobs created. 180,000 were forecast. So that report missed by a factor of 2. The number that had been expected and forecast for that number. In addition to that, we saw the prior 2 months revised upward by 126,000 new jobs. So that report really could not have been hotter. When the Fed released their minutes that were hot on the heels of this number, they made it clear that the March cut that had been priced into the market, we had already modified rates to account for an initial cut by the Fed at their March 1 meeting. Fed has now taken that off the table. So there will not be a cut in March owing to the strength of that employment report. Y'all, when we see a job market that tight or is suggested to be as tight as that number gave us, we're going to talk about that more in a second because I got a feeling there's something funny going on with these numbers. It is an election year. That is something to keep track of. Let's go ahead and get into that now. If you get into and look at the history of the non-farm payroll report, it's pretty good through all of 2022. It's pretty good and pretty accurate throughout 2021, 2020. You look at those 3 years in succession, very minor revisions month over month. You look at the last 12 months, every report, save one, has been revised substantially lower, meaning that the headline number comes out showing a lot of new jobs created, and then subsequent revisions scale that number back. Are we going to see scale back on this number, and will it matter? We will. We'll see some clawback on this number, I would suspect. However, it's still going to be a strong report, y'all. You can't fudge this much in the way of numbers. This is a big, big miss on that report, showing surprising strength in the labor markets. That strength suggests that employers are going to have to pay more to attract talent. That additional labor cost is going to be reflected in the cost of goods produced by those companies. It's inflationary from that standpoint. So that's why the Fed looks at it. They look at it closely to see how's that going to affect inflation going forward. That's why they've taken that March cut off the table. What will the Fed do going forward? Still think we're going to see the Fed easing significantly this year, y'all. There are a lot of reasons. I have a whole presentation that I am making a tour and doing some presentations around to show why I think coming out of spring and going into summer and fall through the end of this year, we're going to see significant loosening from the Fed. There's a number of reasons why that is the case. I can go into those on future videos. Too timely a topic to try and squeeze it into this one call. The Fed meets again on May 1st. That is the next meeting after the March meeting. I think that they very well may move with it at least an initial quarter in that May meeting. And if not then certainly at the June 12th meeting, the July 31st meeting, the September 18th meeting. They have a lot of occasions to meet to start reducing the tightening that they have given us for the last couple of years due to inflationary pressures. Y'all, let's not forget this is also an election year. I think that there is some election year influence on the employment numbers, just as I think that there's going to be an election year focus by the Fed. You can go back and do the history yourself on how the Fed responds to an incumbency and whether they're going to be friendly to them or not. There is some historical evidence to suggest that very thing. So I think the Fed will be under significant political pressure this year to loosen their monetary policy significantly going into this election. What's that mean for us? I think it means we're going to have a really strong summer, really strong fall, really strong end of this year. If y'all had trips scheduled from June through the remainder of the year, you might want to revisit that. You might want to stay handy to show houses because I think we're going to be very busy. In any event, I hope this is helpful for you and for your clients. Yeah, rates are a little bit higher this week. Already seen them come off the highs of last week a hair. Let's see where that goes. Still think we're going to see much lower rates by the end of this year. So stay buckled up for that. This is Lance Bryce with Thrive Mortgage. Always appreciate your referrals. As always, my contact information is on the screen. Stay blessed, stay safe. We will talk to you next week.